Well, here it is. This is the whole reason why I've been training the last 6 or 7 weeks. We're trying to find a new gripper max. We're going to get after it. We've got the whiteboard up there. I'll run through that in a bit, exactly what that works, exactly what that entails. You're going to see me spend about 2 or 3 minutes doing one final warm-up to make sure that I've got the hands, right, the forearms, and everything else ready, because we're going to work our way down this ladder, and we are going to hit some max gripper attempts. Yeah, I'm excited. It should be great. We should hit some new numbers. The left hand last week actually did hit a new number already, but we're going to push that, see if we can't get a little farther. But here's the first set. Look at this. We're going to go right into some hot water. I'm in the basement. It's cold in Minnesota. So watch me roll up my sleeves really high here. The water that I've got set up for this contrast bath is really hot. So you're going to watch me warm up the hands, let everything build up, and go through the numbers. So, for those people that have been on the stream all the other weeks, this is week 7. We're working on shutting newer, harder grippers. I went into the program. If you see up here, it says 126, right hand, left hand, 113. What that means is that's the best estimated close of what I could shut in either hand. It's going to be interesting today. I should be able to absolutely smash both numbers. So on the left, let's look at the right hand first. Here's how we're going to warm up. We're going to do 2 reps with the gripper. That's a 66. All that means is it takes 66 pounds of pressure in order to touch those handles together. It is time. Here we go. We're going to get after it. Hey, King, can you hear me just fine? Just let me do a quick check. Can you hear me, brother? Look how hot that water is. It's okay. It's really cold in Minnesota. We have to do this to get warm, but just want to make sure that, I don't know. I want to do everything I can do to be as ready as I can. We're going to do one more set of this, and we're going to start going right for it. So we're going to do a set of 10 with a 66. That's what this is. 66 pounds of pressure to touch these handles together. We're going to do 5 reps with that 82, 3 reps with 95, and you get it from here. Look at the left side. The left side, we already set a new max last week. I don't really know how that happened. The left just progressed faster than the right, I guess. On the stream last night, we talked about my right elbow having some pain. That's fine. It's mostly gone, but you can't choose how the day's going to go. Some days you wake up with less sleep. Some days you didn't eat as much. You just got to get after it. I'm a little nervous isn't the right word. We had a small, well, I'll say that. Let me do a warm-up set with the grippers. I'm ready to go. To be honest, I've got a little bit of adrenaline anyways, and although this water is super hot, obviously doing the job, because look at the old skin, right? Pretty red. Look where my regular color skin is. Pretty red. So we got a lot of blood flow in there. That's all we really want to do with that. Let's do our first sets, get out of the way. I will be doing this. Normally, on our weekly gripper sessions, we have a lot of good, and I mean good, smart grip people in here. But I'm a little confused by something. The right hand. That doesn't seem like enough warm-up, hitting a single into going for a big max. So we might have to do a little bit more volume. I'm still trying to play that out, and a lot of it will depend on how it feels. So we chalk up. Gang, remember how we chalk up? We put our hand out. This is flat. We like to go flatter than flat to try to get into all the grooves. You know, right now I'm talking a lot because we're on the easy gripper, so it doesn't really matter. But I mean what I'm about to say. When it gets to the hard ones, I may say a lot of things. I may say absolutely nothing. I don't know. I'm going to do whatever it takes in that moment to feel good. So let's just do a warm-up set. This is way easier than anything we're going to use. It's a Bone Crusher 100. And on my warm-up sets, I don't use my set block. I just set it. Remember, if you don't see those handles touch, the rep doesn't count. Let's go left hand. Still the Bone Crusher. Here we go. Hey, King Griffith, I appreciate you being here a lot. We're going to need some people judging reps later. That's just a fact. So having someone like you that knows a lot, that's useful. To explain to the people that maybe haven't seen any of my weeks leading up to this, Icebox, yes! He's at a basketball tournament, yet he's here. If you haven't seen any of the gripper closes we've been doing in the 7-week system, we use this, a set block. The way we define a good rep, we have the gripper out, and before we close each one, we pass it through. Give me 30 seconds. I will demonstrate that in my right hand. I'll actually use it. But yeah, so we're going to set it. We're going to close, close, close. I'm going to do a little re-chalk. Because I did the hot water bath in that green bucket over yonder, I want to make sure all the moisture's off the hand. I like a really dry hand when I do grippers. So again, nice and flat. Press it into all those little crannies, all those wrinkles. Eric, you still in Hudson? You still watching, I don't know, basketball? Wasn't that it? Kids in basketball, I think. And then as soon as I get it everywhere I want, I don't want too much shock, I go like this. Here's the set block. Watch what I do. I'm going to place it between on each rep. That's just making sure I've opened the gripper a minimum distance for my closes. I think that makes sense to people. What you see on the stream right now is, and I'll do it again in my left hand, some people, they like to take the gripper and they go really deep in their hand like this before they close it. Well, those are micro reps. We want to make sure we're hitting at least this width. 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. Now, this is an easy gripper, and you can hear what I was saying, or you can hear the gripper. Click, click, click. That's awesome. That means I'm crushing this gripper. Niners? Yeah, we'll see. Put your hand facing inwards. Do you mean like this? Think you mean like that. I suppose he could be meaning doing this. Let's go over to the board. So this gripper, when we're done with the gripper today, it's going to get cast aside. This is our discard pile, right? Right hand, we set our max was 126 pounds going into it. That means the most pressure we can generate with one hand. And then this is 113, that's the left. The goal today is to close grippers, definitely hard rated. Calm down, breathe the adrenaline in, use it to your advantage. That means the goal is to shut grippers that are harder than that in each hand. And here's how you know the strength. Well, they've got tags on them. You can see this. This is 118. This is a Supermaster. It's a beef bill. It's a Warren Tedding. We might end up using some of these. I realized after putting the chart together last night, it's like, I have some gaps in here that I'm supposed to be hitting my numbers on. No, I don't. I have Teddings to fill almost all those. So that's cool. Maddie Renard. I see what you're saying. That's a good point. Let me do my first actual working set. So the gentleman's saying, and he's not, dude, that's not being rude. He's right. In some ways, he's right. I have some contests I'm looking at doing, and they require that between each rep, you actually do it like this. So to stay true to that, to dial in the CNS to that kind of training, I am going to use it. Now, after this the 7 weeks I just did, we're going to take a little break from this, and I'm going to show you some other training modalities. This is the first official the set of today's workout. This is a 66. It's a GHP number 2. Yeah, that's a 3. Good. We're going to do 10 reps with this. I always hold the set block like this. Because my hands are still red from how hot that water was. Because after I set the gripper, I don't want to waste time picking it up over there by my chalk. I want to have it ready to go. On a lighter gripper, not a big deal. When it gets heavy, having to hold this position to search for your set block, it's not great. All right, here we go. 10 reps. Great. 7, 8, 9, 10, hold. We're going to go right. So we don't need this one anymore. If you look at the board, 66 only appeared once. We checked it, great. Got to use the 60. They're easily confused because they're the same color, right? This is the GHP2 that I alluded to a second ago. So we've got our set block right here. I'm going to knock out 10 reps. I'll get back to the comments. We're in active chat early. That's great. Got to get 10 reps. This is easy enough where you're going to hear the click, click, click on each one. I put it right underneath my calluses, and I use my other hand to wind it in, but I never go so deep that I can't get this between it. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, hold. Later in the stream, when these get harder, what you're going to see is Me shaking a little bit, holding it here, I have to when it gets hard, I tend to straighten my arm to try to get all the strength. And that's when I generally ask the chat, the comment, a King Griffith, a Jensen, and Eric the Icebox to say, did I close that, did I not? So, for record keeping posterity's sake, we got 10. But it's a warm-up set. We can't be too proud of that. If we would have struggled in any of that, we'd have been having a crappy day later. I'll go 82 in my left hand. I'm going to use a Super Advanced to accomplish that. The Super Advanced looks like this. This one has such great knurling, gang. I can't say enough about it. It's nice and sharp. When I set it in my hand, it is not going to want to slide at all. I'll still re-chalk. I re-chalk between each set. And what you're seeing a little bit, so you see how the chalk was there? That contact point was never touched. It was never touched here. But you see how the chalk has been pushed away here? I don't know if that's good or bad really, but what that means is the gripper slowly slid back in my hand and took some chalk with it. Not a big deal on the easy grippers. Those were easy. But on these hard ones, when I'm trying to shut them for just a single rep, that's going to really suck if it slides back at all. So you'll see me try to make a pocket with my hand. The thumb muscle, the thumb pad, will come in here and try to prevent it from sliding back. I hope that makes sense. Let me holler at the comments quick. Hey, Maddie, I agree. Oh, no, dude. I appreciate that. And there's actually people sometimes that ask such good questions, I actually tweak my form based on it. We're feeling pretty good. I don't see a reason to rest more. I'm going to re-chalk, and then I'm going to do 5 reps. But here's my annoyance. The 7-week program I'm on that I got from a coach back when I was young, I'm old now, this was originally for like bench press, clean and jerks, things like that. I'm probably going to do 1 or 2 extra reps, more than 5, because I want to make sure, I'd rather be a little over warmed up and lose just a little of my peak performance than be underrepresented. So here we go. We're going to mostly focus on the area. This is not good chalk. Wish I brought my spider chalk out today. Spider chalk's the real deal. So there's different kind of chalks, and everybody's kind of got their own little, hey, what's the best chalk? What about this chalk? I chalk up pretty heavily, I'll admit. The reason why I do it is I want to get it in all these small crevices. And then I don't like a lot of chalk, so I knock it off, but it stayed in all the important parts. I don't want to over chalk. So our right hand, like we said, we're going to do this one. Check the stamping quick. Let's make sure we have the right one. I have pulled bad grippers before. S. A. Beef Builder Super Advanced. When you have a grip with a tag, it tells you how much strength it takes to touch the handles. I keep the tag on the inside leg. So the next thing you'll see, I'll probably do 6 or 7. If it's feeling really good and my CNS is firing, it might be tap, click, tap, click. I might do more than that. But let me ask you this. For the people that are on here, how many people train grip? If you train grip at all, or forearms, put a 1, comment 1. If you train something totally different, but you still hit the gym, that's awesome. Put a 2. We'll do it just like Carl Meyerskopf, the best guy in the world ever at grippers. He's very deliberate in his sets. I haven't been on all of these in the program, but today we're going to start. So I'm not going to squeeze the gripper until I feel it's perfectly aligned. Look at how this comes right through the middle of this finger. All right, here we go. 10. Not sure if I should have gone for the 10th. I felt like I messed up a couple of those reps. I'm nervous. I don't care if people watch. I'm not nervous about that. I'm nervous about performance. So I got a little of the, God, what do they call it? Is it IPS? I don't know. No, that's not it. I'm just excited. So this one will be more disciplined. We'll just do 7 or 8 here. We're going to make sure we're passing it through each time. This one, if you know anything about hand grippers, is an Iron Mine Captain of Crush. It's an old one, so it's all scratched up. That's the number 1, right? We've got 110 people in here now. I'm guessing that a lot of you, maybe all of you or close to all, you could probably get this. We're warming up. This is set 2. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold it. Discard. What I need to be careful of on a max day like today is to try to stick with the program, is not to feel, what's the best way to describe it? You do have to go with kind of how you feel, right? You need to take that into consideration. But not feel like, hey, it's so easy now, let's do more reps to build more confidence. So a little bit of what I did on set 2, because I only had to do a few amount of reps. And again, this isn't a lot of reps. If you were going to go for a max squat or a max bench, and I'm guessing a lot of us here have done those, I feel like you would do more than, so this is about 50% of my max. I feel like even in here, you'd be hitting triples. So I'm going to do 1 or 2 extra reps. What I need to be careful of is not trying to smash 3 of them here. Sometimes a problem I have, I'm feeling so good and it's so much of a head game, I say, you know what? I'm only supposed to do a single, it feels good, let me hit 2 or 3. Wow, I was able to get 2 or 3 on a warm-up single. And then you start getting, not cocky, but overconfident. Let's try to stick with the game plan. I'm going to do another set in a second. Right hand, 95. I have to do this 5 reps. That's not a lot of weight for me, and I need this to feel more warmed up. I'm going to do 5 on this one too. Let me show you what we have lined up for those. Oh yeah, we've got a gripster in here. We might have a new gripster in here. Hey man, how are you? That's B. Harnan. Maybe over from Europe? Maybe. Hey, where are you from, man? So we're going to use this gripper in our right hand. This is a Captain of Crush. How do you know it's a Captain of Crush? See the COCs? Come on, behave ourselves. We'll behave ourselves one day. There it is. You can see COC. And it's a number 2. If you weren't so busy being shiny, we could show the fun people at home. It says Captains of Crush there. Captains of Crush. And this is 95 pounds. So for a number 2, this is actually super light. Most of them are between 104 and 106. This one's only 95. I'm glad that they don't always come in the same strength because it allows you to build a ladder and not have to make 20-pound jumps in everything you do. We're going to hit this in 1 second. Let's show the left-hand gripper. Here we go. This is the one we're doing in the left. Sweden, yes. I'm actually part Swedish. God, who was I? I talked to a fair amount of you guys out there, the guys that were putting on Immortals. He was messaging me this morning. The way you guys set up the dynameters so that it would read on the screen, it's very motivating. It's incentivizing. He told me how he did it. I'm not smart enough to reprogram that, so there. See that? So this is a 1.5. Still a Captains of Crush. We're going to do that in the left hand. In fact, we're going to do these right now. I feel pretty warmed up. I don't really see a reason to drag this out. My God. We got a guy in here who smashed some grippers earlier. Man, with that beard, I bet you're pretty good. You probably have a pretty sick grip. So for this contest, Immortals in Sweden, one of the events they had, there's a machine, you squeeze it to show how strong your hands are, how strong your grip are. And they somehow hooked it up to a television. They had to write some code. They had to modify the implement. And I listened to everything he said, but I can't do that. I don't know how to do any of that stuff. Here we go. What you're going to see next, remember, I like to have the tag, the handle that has the tag on it. I like it to go under my right hand. What you're going to see next is me pass this through here. I'm going to try to do it a little bit more deliberately like I do in the other weeks. The problem is I have some adrenaline going on. I'm a little fired up. That's okay. That's why you're here. That's why I'm here. Watch. I'm going to use too much chalk. I'm going to use this hand to pull this gripper so that my pinky gets on it, but I'm going to make sure that it's always open at least this far, okay? We're going to do 5 reps. Might have been 6. I can't help it. 6 shouldn't take too much out of me. Let's get after it again. Here's your 1.5 we just talked about. Let's smash this. Let's smush this. I hope I shut this thing so fast and explosively that these hands get smelted or welded together. Coming up 5. So this gripper actually, that 95, not all the knurling is the same on some of these, depending on when they made them. That 95 actually had pretty smooth knurling. I didn't love it. But this 1.5, yeah, we're going to be okay with this knurling. So what you're going to see is passing this thing through. Shut. Not so. Actually, you know what? Do we still have? Is our Swedish friend still in here? The goal will be to go heavier than that, heavier than the 126. That's the number we've been building off of. Hey, with some of our gripper guys that are in here, hang on a second. I've got a kind of technical question, something I want to ask you guys. 5. So I should point out what that gentleman asked. These were the numbers we used going into the program. 126 for my right hand. 113 for my left hand. Last week, we did 1 or 2 lighter singles. The left hand felt so good, I actually went a little heavier than that. So I know I'll be able to beat that today because I beat it last week already. Now what's going to be interesting, and I'm not 100% sure what to do about this. We just did 95 for 5, and we did 85 for 5. It felt okay. It felt just fine. Oh, can I ask a question? I'm just curious, what brand of gripper? Some brands of grippers, they denote the gripper, as you say, 150-pound increments, just to separate it. But those aren't exactly the actual closing poundages, so sometimes it gets confusing. Just curious if you remember the brand. But here's what I want to ask you guys. Does that make sense? Do you see how on the right hand, my next set is just supposed to be a single at 107? Does that seem right to you guys? What would you do? I feel like that needs to be at least a double. I know it's calling for a single. I'm going to rest. I'm going to re-chalk just for a second, but please let me know. Just keep it at that. It's a double-edged sword because, oh man, I'm getting fired up. Because I'd rather my hands are a little too warmed up than a little not warmed up. I hope that makes sense. So here we are. This is going to be my right hand. We're going to use this. This is a number 2. There it is. God, a second ago it was so shy you couldn't see any numbers. Now they're all just flying and popping off the screen. This comes in at 107 pounds of pressure to touch these together. So right hand, and now we're going singles. I said singles. I'm probably going to do this for a double anyways. Because it's very cold in this basement, and I just feel like I don't quite have the blood flow yet. But in the left hand, we're going to go 96. This 96 is just like that 95, 1 pound harder, except this 96, real smooth knurling. And somehow, so once a week on the stream, I clean my grippers. Usually Thursdays with shoulders. I didn't get the choco there. That's fine. We'll go right for it right now. This will be the sets. It's not going to seem necessary now, but what you're going to see now when I do my closes, I'll do a double with each. I'm going to put it in the hand, shut it, and on the second one, I'm going to show it to the camera for a second, so hopefully we can all see it. I want to get in that mode because when we start hitting these much heavier grippers, and those are going to be much harder for me, I need people in the chat, the comments, and you guys are good about it. You do it every week, but I need someone to say, actually, man, I know you thought it was closed. Definitely not. Or sometimes I'm like, dude, I didn't shut that. Or I can't tell. And then having somebody say yes or no is super helpful. So let's get right into it. We want the 107. We're going to go right hand with that. We're going to use our trusty set block. This thing is 50 millimeters apart. Sound good? So I'm going to do 2 reps. I'm going to pass this block through each time. Because I'm going to stand to the side and demo. And why is that? Because I anticipate sticking my arm out to do those really heavy closes. Most of us get more power with our arm straight like this, which is why sometimes you see people close grippers like this, down at their side. So in an effort to prepare for the harder sets coming up, you're going to see me do that. And yeah, it's funny. Here, no, let me shut this. I'll tell you a story. So it'll also be the set. You probably see me doing a little of my breathing on to get ready to get amped up. Come on, double. Yep, here we go. I'm going to hold it out like this for the second rep, and you tell me. Ow! I mean, just so we're practicing here, Iron Mind's a good brand. Standard from Cannon Power Works is a superb brand. I got that. I really feel confident I got that for 2. But in the habit, did that thing look definitely shut? Captain, thank you, King. It's a solid guy right there. King guy shows up. Now the 96. Same thing though, right? Wherever you run to. Same thing. Here's the tag. We always make sure we have the right gripper. The tag handle will go on this side. And for some reason, I don't know how this works, straddling the tripod and going like this actually still feels pretty comfortable. So until I go for my absolute max sets, I'm going to do it this way. But we'll do a double. I can't imagine that wasn't shut. Again, I'm just saying that because I've done it enough. It felt like it was shut. And I actually think doubles were the right choice there. So I know it says 1. We'll leave what the program said. Now, here's where I take issue with some things. Sorry if it gets boring or technical. Ha ha ha, I think it's going to be fun. I want to end up going for a gripper. Well, here, I'll show you first. If I show you first, it'll make more sense. I've never shut this gripper with the set block. I've never shut it. After this gripper, so my thought is, if that one's 130, and it is, and I just did 107, I don't know, do I do a single at 117 and say, forget the board, I know my own body, and start hitting lighter singles to work up? Do I make that jump? Because right now it would have me go 107, 121. 107, 121, it'd have me go 130. Hard to say. Now this gripper is a beef builder. The Supermaster, a very solid gripper. The knurling on this is insane. I do have to say something. This one ranks 132, 132 pounds of pressure. This is the number 3 that we've been talking about the whole time on the stream. Old school number 3. Look at that. Made in the 90s. This one is 131 pounds of pressure. I had a training day with some buddies, and here's what came of it. The 3 guys that tried it, 2 of them could close this just barely, and 1 was super, super close. So then we go to this one, 1 pound heavier. Nobody was close at all. Everybody was substantially further off. This gripper here is wider, and this sweep is much heavier. So then I came over here. Pardon me while I move this. For those of you who've been on the stream, I know King see this. This is my grip calibration machine. So I thought that's interesting. The 131, number 3, it came in pretty hard on this. I had about a 5 or 6 pound difference in strength between them, not the ones that the tags indicate. I'm not saying that it was rated wrong, but I'm saying I use this for my training purposes. So here's what I'd like to do. I want to treat the 130. Well, you know what? I need to do some singles like right now, so let me do that. But I want to make this, since I've never actually closed this, I want to make this a really hard attempt. And then after that, I think I'm going to hop to this 132. That's the goal. Let me chalk up now. I feel pretty warm. I think that I will just go. Yeah, I'll just go to the 121. I'm going to put my sleeves back down because I'm already getting cold again. The blood flow is there. All that stuff is good. It's just not as... Bearban. Wow, you know so much stuff. Yeah, man. Get yourself some RBs. Little thicker handle. Some people like that. Maybe others not as much, but you can also custom them, or at least you could custom them. Hey, this is why we check. I should not be using the 117. Thank God I looked. I'm really glad I looked, actually. Here we go. We're going to do a single with this one, the 121. This is the one. I'm going to shut it. I'm going to hold it to the camera, and I'll show you. When you start doing the harder grippers, at least for me, they have a tendency of sliding more. But even if this slides during it, I'm still going to go for that close. Got it? This is definitely where I start to wrap my head around it. I know from experience that I have 3 solid max attempts in me. This is a little sub-maximal. But I should still have at least 2 great ones after this. Now, to me, and let me know, I think that was shut. It went right down to a point and didn't move anymore. If you don't think it was shut, that's okay. Let me know that. I'd really like to know. Oh, Alan, holy crap. Alan's here today? You guys, I got to say, everybody's showing up today. Appreciate it. Alan, read Alan's comment he made. He's right about a lot of stuff. He's right about that too. So, left hand. No, we got to go 107 first. Let's just do a single with the 107. There's the tag. 107 pounds to touch these 2 handles. Here we go. This is going to go between the handle. We're going to do a single. Whether it feels amazing, whether it feels like trash. 1 single. Then after that, we're going to make the jump in the left hand. That was shut. I felt it shut. I feel good about that being shut. I use my phone camera with phone. Yeah, you guys are smart. I use a mirror. What is doing grippers a closer? See, that's actually a pretty good idea. Nobody said that those 2 weren't shut, so I assume I'm going to make the assumption that those 2 grippers were actually shut. People are usually pretty vocal if I don't shut it. 1. We need to make one update here that I can see. The 121, we may get there. That 17, well, the 117 is next. The 107 didn't feel bad. 117. I should hire someone to do my writing for me. 117. I'm going to do, God dang it. If I'm being honest, I don't feel ready to go straight to the 130. Let me do my 125. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Let me do my 125. I'll bring that over. We'll get chalked up and hit it. I will say, once we work through our maxes, there's still more gripping to do. We're going to go Uno cards. I know some of you know what I mean when I say Uno cards. Walk with me, talk with me. This is the grip machine we already talked about. We'll be using the 152 number 3. We'll be using the micrometer later. I'll show you, and those Uno cards. Kind of grippers all over. Pop this down. We want the 125. I know I've got a 125. Just look for it. Oh, here we go. This is a 125. This one actually has crazy good knurling. So this will be our first attempt. Mine, a little bit still of a warm-up. But our first, hey, we're going for a crush. In an ideal world, like if I had a contest coming up, and unfortunately right now I don't actually have a contest coming up. I love contests. Competing is the most fun. But if I did have one come up, I would have taken a full week off. I didn't do that. I took a couple days off. I did grip Thursday. I did some heavy arms. No, I gripped Tuesday, heavy arms on Wednesday. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, I mean, that's some time off. Their hands, hopefully they recover quickly. So we're done with so many of these now. What we're going to pop on next, go for it right away. Let's get the good chalk. Always put your palm nice and flat. I wish I could double it over because I want to get chalk into all these fun crevices. That's just what I like to do. I will say this to the chat, to the commenters. There's almost nothing you can say or do that offends me. And I am going to ask, please, Alan actually judges grip contests, so if you guys see this attempt and you don't think the gripper is shut, that's fine. But let me know so I can adjust my technique or squeeze harder. 125. Hey, where are you? 125. And we've got the... So why does that happen? If I put my thumb there, it shows up 2.5. Listen to the knurling. Listen to this knurling check. You telling me that's not good knurling? If Jeff misses this, it will have nothing to do with this gripper. That's some sick knurling. So again, I'm going to pass this through once. I'm going to hold it up here. And let me put you over here, gang. I want to straighten this arm all the way out. And you let me know if it looks shut. Ah! I heard it. That's shut. But if you don't mind, just let me know so I know the visual cues are working. I shut that thing, for fun. Just say if I did or not. Because trust me, I've got some grippers here that probably nobody can close. So we're gonna go left hand right now. I've loved Swedish people my whole life. Oh, I've been to Sweden before. It was awesome. So I went there. You had a strongman guy. I can't believe I'm forgetting his name. He put on a huge contest. Thor was there. My buddy Dave was there. A lot of people there. I went to quote unquote coach. Dave didn't need my help, but we competed a lot together. And the Swedish people were fantastic. It was around Christmas time. I'm going to remember Johannes. He put it on at this big stadium. And it was funny because after the contest, they're like, oh, Americans, come with us. And they wanted here, have some of these shots. This one's reindeer piss. This one's pine tree sap, right? Up in the north, it's cold. It was near Christmas. The hospitality was sick. I have to get back to Sweden. I couldn't believe it. Plus, like I said, some of my people are there. I've never closed this in my left hand. It's a 2.5. It is my intention, if I'm being honest, to shut this. I don't put grippers in my hand with any other intention. All right, same thing. Let's get after it. Don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. We started losing a little bit of a callus there. I felt it slip. But again, that's my fault if it slips. I either need to set better or chalk better. So I'm just curious. Didn't get it. Oh, Cameron's on here. That's sweet. Cameron, here's what we'll do then. Let's just shut it next attempt. So I'll try this one again. Thank you for the feedback. It's annoying that it wasn't shut. Actually, really fucking annoying it wasn't shut. Here's what we're going to do in the right hand. We'll just take a little bit more. Breathing, talking, squeezing. I've never shut this in my right hand. It's 130. It's a... Ta-da! Some of these are so shy and I just don't get it. Well, that side isn't. It's a 2.5. I'm gonna take a couple breaths. I'm gonna chalk up. We're gonna go for it. This was the one for the folks that were in the stream the other day. I had just missed it. Super close. The reason why I think I can get this, because when we went for this one, maybe let's just try the 3 now. Yeah, I'm at a crossroads. I could either... Here's what I'm trying to figure out. This gripper, yeah, there's knurling. It's not great knurling. We saw it slip in my hand last week. This gripper, wicked knurling. Wicked knurling. So just trying to figure out which one makes the most sense. Having never closed this one, why don't I go for this one first? I still have at least 2 very strong attempts in my hand. Yeah, I'm just going to go for it now. There isn't really a reason. So let me make an update. I know this. One thing that's cool, so I like grippers. It's what first got me into grip. It's what gets a lot of people in the grip, to be honest. And I did a contest back in August. And I haven't trained any grippers until 6 weeks ago. I was focusing on my thick bar stuff, and now my thick bar's up. My little bighorn's a little over 180. In the contest, I got 167, so I know it's working. But when I came back to grippers, see that? That's not giving myself credit. It's acknowledging that gross. It's acknowledging I didn't get it. So we're going to go 130. We'll do 117 again here. So, but when I came back from not doing grippers for a while, I found out that, I was right around there. But considering how easy that 125 was, I mean, obviously my crushing grip has gotten better. Yada, yada. Let's go right into it. So I got a little water on my hand. Let's chalk over that. There we go. You know, I'm surprised about that 117. The 107 felt very good. And I actually think I had a really good set on that. But that's why you have the chat, right? Because in my hand, if somebody would have said, you got it, I'd have said, great. And you did. You said, no, you missed it a bit. Great, that makes sense. Because honestly, I didn't know. 130. This gripper sucks. It's a very wide gripper. The spread, so spread is how far apart the handles are, but it kicks and it gets difficult right away. I call some grippers spongy. You can give them a little squeeze, build up some momentum before it starts to kick back against your hand. Not this one. This one is a ride the whole way. Super annoying. I would absolutely love to mash this thing. So, take a sec, take a couple breaths, get ready. I'm going to crush it down in my hand. I'm going to let it open up. I'm going to pass this through. And then I'm going to do the same thing, so same response, please, if you don't mind. I'll hold it up to the camera. Try not to shake too much. I might shake. I'll try not to shake. Let's see what we can do. It's all about the set. Don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Would love it if people take a look and let me know. The set was average. I missed it again. Lame. Yeah, it didn't feel like a great set either. Let's go right to the left hand. Something's got to go down. Thanks, Cameron. And I appreciate that. But today is about results. It was a good attempt. Sometimes what happened, and it better happen this time, is that I have to squeeze the harder gripper once or twice to get it. I'm really hoping that happens with this one. Let's see what she has. Left hand. Here we go. Big set, big close, big set. Now something's wrong. I shut my hand as far as I could. I don't think that was shut. I shut it as far as it would. It didn't slowly get to that position. It went there immediately and then didn't budge. So, yeah, sometimes you gotta feel it. Agreed. Give me 1 second. We'll swipe back in. I might make the jump to this one, which is a little harder, but it's a little narrower, and the knurling's really good. So I might make the jump to that. I tell you one thing I'm not going to do. Well, say that now. This 117 should be going down pretty easily, so I really don't know what's happening. Look at it. It's all narrow as can be. Because this one, which comes in at 118, is also a narrow gripper. Yeah, the 130 again. Yeah, I'll try the 130 again. It sounds like the 130 was pretty close. For fun, I'll show this. This is the micrometer. What I'm going to do after this, and how I've been ending my training the last 2 streams, is I take a really hard gripper I know I can't close, and I try to pinch the handles like chopsticks and hold the stack of cards to see how far away I am. Here, we'll zero it out. So, this here is about 1 millimeter. Almost. So when people say you're a millimeter away, yeah, it's close. Super close. But still, anybody with a trained gripper eye can look at that and say, nah, we didn't quite get it. And that's just happened. Uno cards coming up after this. I'll go 1 more attempt each hand. Debating jumping to that really, really nicely. God, that really nicely one. No. I want to do the nicely knurled one. We can wait on that another day. I actually should probably just do what Cameron said and just get right back to the the 130. The 125 went down pretty easily, so I'm thinking that this will go down this time. I do know that, like I said before, I've never closed this one with a set block before. I would really, really like to get that in here. Yeah, maybe I should have rested a couple days. That doesn't matter. I'm here now, and I'm going to give it another go. I was not impressed with me trying to pass the set block through last time, by the way. That happens sometimes. I totally just knocked this handle rather than putting it through. Too nervous, I guess? Here we go. Slide that in. I love how that feels. I don't know. Someone's got to let me know. I honestly couldn't tell. Curious. Still nothing? All right, here we go, boys and girls. Come on, 117. Yeah, man, close is useful sometimes in some stuff, isn't it? This is results day. So we came into the program with a 113. We got the 116 last week. Well, I'll tell you this, though. We are closer on this 117 than we were last week. That's good. 3 RGC jump in 7 weeks for a veteran. I'll take that. The right hand, the 126. We're trying to get the 130. I have 1 more solid attempt left on that. I've got 1 more, that's all. The same way in my left hand, I only have 1 more attempt here. I've got 2 options. I can try this 117 again, which I should probably do. Or I can do this 118. So 118 has better grip. We saw that they are about the same width. Come on, didn't we see that? I guess this one's... We'll make that the focus gripper of another day. Go right into this. Let the grip gods be with me. Here we go. It just doesn't seem like it's there today. All right. We're on to Racco cards for the left hand. The right hand can still get after the 130. It's not temperature. It's not rest. It's none of those really fun things that would be fun to say. It just didn't happen. So now we start a different 4-week cycle. Yeah, our hands are stronger than they were when we came into this. We know that, but we really, well, I shouldn't be. The left hand, I had never done the 116. I got that last week. That's cool. The right hand, I made too big of a jump, maybe. I've got a 127 I could have tried. I should maybe try that now. I don't want to try the 127 now. I've got a 128. I don't want to try that now. 1 millimeter, it's close, but it's also, I feel like, not super close. Let me count these quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'll tell you what I'm doing in a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 33 cards, right? Let me grab a really, really easy gripper for demonstration purposes. It was a gripper we had so casually cast aside earlier. I'm going to do Racco card work now. When I've already done my peak squeezes, I like to use a gripper that's so hard I can't close it. I know I won't be able to close it, but I want to try it anyways. But the problem is, other than taking a gripper and saying, did I get it? Obviously not. You don't know if it's closer or further than what you've done in the past. So with these cards, I shut it down to them, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And if I can shake it a little bit and hold it, use these like chopsticks, essentially, right? Then I know that's the distance the handles were apart. Last week, we used, and I'm still going to do another 130 attempt. I'm just taking a little bit more time, like our guy King was saying. Last week, we used the 152 in our right hand, and we used the 130 in the left hand. And we were able to get 33 cards. 1 second. We were able to get the 33 cards pinched together. So, left hand we'll try in a second. We're going to do the attempt in the right hand again, but the goal will be to try to get somewhere in the 20s. I think it's a fun endeavor. If people know what silver bullet is, think of it kind of like that. My brand, the number 1 came. It's lighter than the old one. I don't know if that's good or bad. No, we've actually hit a hiccup. Pleased with how the left hand is, but we get one more attempt on the right hand. What we're trying to do, where is it? No, it's not that one. What we're trying to do, Jensen, is put this guy down. Just put him to sleep. Sounds like we were decently close. One of the attempts, again, if somebody said you got it, I would have believed them. People said I didn't, I believe you. But that's how close it was. Let's grab our set block. There's our set block. Let's go for another attempt. This is kind of the all-out. Rubber hits the road. I think we'll see what I have in the tank, right? Let's see if I've got it still. No, I can feel it. That was worse than the last attempt, unfortunately. So I go to my left hand immediately. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to use the same gripper, this one here, and I'm going to try to pinch. I'll talk more about my failure in a second. I'm not skipping that part, don't worry. I'm going to try to pinch 30 Uno cards between these handles. I'm hoping I can do that because last week I could only get down to 33. Yeah. So left hand, we knocked out the 30. That didn't feel so bad. I think I can crush that a little further. I better make those notes though. I tell you what, let me do this first actually. So we were talking about millimeters earlier in the stream. Now we're zeroed out. It's like that. Let's see. Oh, we went to inches. I don't really want inches. I want millimeters. So what we saw there is I got those handles within 8.55 millimeters. Look, none of us, Even the most casual grip person can take a look at that and say, hey gang, you're not there. Now, what people might not realize, in that same breath, if you shut that down on an easy gripper, it's about how far, well, it's a little tighter than that. About that far away. So you're past parallel at that point. But I mean, does anybody want to be parallel? I guess on the number 4, we'd be okay being parallel. I better make my notes. Well, we tried it 3 times. Hang on. So no one can say it was for lack of effort. I'm very annoyed that I didn't get the 117. First, talk about the left. Now the new max is 116. We're going to go into different kind of programming for grippers. By the way, we're not doing exclusively grippers. We do our thick bar during the week, and we do a lot of plate curls and pinching. This has just been something I added on just so I could retest and see where it's at. The 130. I don't have the same setup, so I'll just have to go like this. Then I'll put by 3. I'll watch this on replay tomorrow. I know I didn't get those attempts. You guys called me out, and that's good. I'm just curious how close it was. The 125 was a joke. I heard it click. I don't know what to attribute the difference between this, which is 5 RGC, when I can, boom, stop it, and then that jump. It could be, we'll take this. We will take this. I'll tell you what, for the people that are coming to North Americans next year, work your grippers. We're kicking off the event with the grippers next year. Well, next year, it's already this year, never mind. So we've got that going on. I can't say, and the one on the right is the 130. You know, they're similar width. The one on the right is a little wider. The knurling is substantially better on the left. Okay, but again, this 125, look how soft it is. I'm hardly squeezing, it moves. This one, I have to squeeze really hard and it just doesn't want to budge. So I think the sweep is just a lot harder. Let me respond to that. Oh, Donald, no, you don't. Do you really? You've got the same one? It's a good one. You probably like a smart tech guy though, right? An engineer type guy. You probably actually need this stuff. You're doing real stuff with it. I'm just screwing around. So here we go. It's the 152. This is a slightly harder number 3. But be clear, there might be even people in this chat that can put this down no problem. That I don't know. Let's go back to the cards. I will say this, and here's what I can't figure out again. The left hand, even though I didn't get the 117, every time it went like this. And to whatever position, no matter how close or how far it was, I feel like I got down there really easily. The right hand, not close, but I think people said the right hand was actually closer. The thing about the right hand is it felt like it was slowly getting closer and then the strength gave out. The point I'm trying to make is this one, if this hand were stronger, it felt like you'd have had it. This one felt like it could have been a lot stronger. I don't know. I don't think this is it. If I was positioning it wrong in my hand, because it would just go right to where I wanted it. And I'm like, God, I bet that shut. Let me ask the crew. And every time it wasn't. And again, I know you're right. But it's just odd because usually in a hard gripper, you don't get the movement and then it just stops. The stop usually indicates that the handles are touching. Squeeze all day, nothing will happen. So that being the point, if I'm saying anything, if I'm a digital Werner, are you a child? PB is 151. That's sweet, dude. Man, you see our guy in there, Cam? Did you see what Cam just said? So, and maybe he could do this one, right? These are relatively accurate, but maybe they're pound off or pound on. Cam in the chat can do this. He can take this set block. Oh, and I should point out, it's 30 millimeters this way. Sometimes in the contest, they want you to show this much distance between the handles. What we're going to do at North American Grip Championships, we're going to go 20 millimeters. So not quite as wide, right? Shove it as deep as you want. Allow it to come open. Pass this through and shut it down again. And he can do it basically with this one, which is super hard. Which means if he doesn't have to use one of these, he can probably shut an even harder one. Yeah, Cam, that's sweet. What the point I was saying is I feel like I've really gassed my right hand, like absolutely gassed it. I will still try some of these Unos. If it's not going well, we usually do 3 things. This is the 3rd week of what we do. Starting next Saturday, we reset. There's going to be some filed grippers. It's going to be a little bit, it's a different format. It'll be a little different format. But normally on this, we go, the week, the workout program. Then we hop in and we do our fun Uno cards, which I absolutely love. And then we take the Ironmind credit card and I see what I can work up to. I'm not a big fan of the Ironmind credit card, if I'm being honest. Kind of hand size dependent. But I might as well see what I can do with it. The benefit of doing it last is if I were to come fresh with it one day, I'm sure I could do a much harder gripper than I could now. We gave a lot of really hard attempts on the 130. I'm going to throw that thing in the river later today. So look in the Mississippi if you want a 130 gripper that PO'd me. But I'm still going to try this. I don't know what I've got squeezing left. Tell you what, if I squeeze this and pinch these cards, pretty pumped up. It's going to be a lot bigger of a set, a lot more effort. And what you're seeing is people say that are good at grippers mechanically that you want the handle right below that callus line. Okay, I could see where that's helpful. So most of us do that and they use this thumb. We make a pocket so it doesn't slide. Now, if you put it in the mechanically advantaged place, I bet even Cam can't reach this. You really have to reel that gripper in so that you can get the other finger around it, right? So that's going to be tough because this one is 22 pounds harder than the one I was just screwing around with, horsing around with. But I am going to try to pinch these Uno cards between it after. Oh, God, this is hard to say. Go left hand again. Maybe come back and try the right. So the left hand, we got 30. Let's just peel 3 off because it didn't feel too bad. We're going to go 27. Actually, hey, who here is doing King Kong? I actually have the grab ball thing coming. I'm curious what people's thoughts are on that. It looks like an interesting event. I've never tried anything like that. Here we go. Let's get our Uno cards where we want them. Left hand has to make up. Has to take out, has to do its due diligence on this gripper because the right hand couldn't. Nope. I could hold it between the handles briefly, but these pinkies were coming into play and holding it. I'm going to go try the right hand one more time. Then we'll try the left one more. Probably just go to the Ironmind credit card. Start a little bit more towards the callus, so when the skin moves, it plays perfect. Actually, you know what? So he's making a good point. Let me use an easy gripper. If I'm starting behind the calluses, and that is generally where I start, right? When you're setting a hard gripper, this is what you see, right? And somewhere between it reeling in, or me taking my hand off, or me starting to squeeze, now I'm allowing it to happen for visuals, you see it's getting further and further away from the good leverage. What he's saying is start on top of the calluses. So even if it does slip, and it will slip a little bit, I'm nice and tight to that line. That's what he's saying. Me chalk. Yeah, I really do want to try this 152. I'd love to get a little bit better number on my super fun Uno cards. I don't know if it's possible. When we say it was max effort day, it really was. I did 3 attempts at a gripper. It stopped me each time. Isn't hindsight awesome? In hindsight, I'm so glad I did the 125. That's what I can't figure out. My confidence was so high after that 125. Just smash. I loved it. And I honestly thought, although I knew it would be hard, I thought the 130 would go down. But now it's like, well, I've got a 127. I've got a 128. I have a lot of them, right? I'm just curious what that would have looked like now. So let me see if I can get a decent set on this one. I'll give it a good squeeze. And if not, I'll just start moving on to Captain of Crush certification on both hands. I appreciate everybody stopping by. We've had over 6,000 people. People have made some good comments. Tell you what, if you like this kind of training, weekdays we go on around 8:30. Weekends we usually hit it right now around that 2:30 or 3. But if it's not grippers, it's shoulders. If it's not this, it's dumbbells. If it's not that, it's back work. I'm just doing stuff at home. I got a newborn here, so it's a little harder to get to the gym. So I just do what I can here. No. Hello, Ironmind credit card. Go grab that. We'll do a quick tour. We can look at a bunch of other random grippers. I'm just going to swipe the card and walk it right back. Some more grippers. The truly collectible ones are in there. I don't generally take those out. The super collectible, well, some of you have seen this. One of a kind in the corner back there. That's the prototype Ironmind number 2 before they would end up calling it a number 2. First one ever made. Matt Cannon said, "Don't ever squeeze this, please. Don't ever squeeze it." He's concerned that it'll break. It probably does belong more in a museum, if indeed I didn't close it. So we chalk really well. We're back at it here. We now have our 30. That's right. We now have our 30 cards. We've got our 130 gripper. Let's go for this attempt. Oh yeah. So I got that. 30 cards. I feel good about 30 cards. Considering all the max effort work, I can live with 30 cards. Would have been nice to shut some of these other ones. So Racco. I keep calling them that. They're Uno cards, gang. Right hand, left hand, 152. Tried 30. Close, but didn't get it. Actually, we might have just done, let's count these up. That might have been 27. I think it was 27. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 25, 26. Yeah, 27. We got 27 in the left on our 132. Great. We're going to go right into this. This is the Ironmind card. I'm going to chalk up. It'll be interesting to see, again, if anything is left at this point. I'll start with something I know I can get. So what's something on here I know I can get that's not going to gas me too much? Those 85 should certainly fill that bill. Cam, how do you train your grippers? Are there certain... do you train them? Well, it's an easy question. Once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week? So what we're going to do is the same thing with the set block, except we have to pass this Ironmind card through it. Once it's passed through completely, then we go for the close. Here we are warming up with an 85. So I shut it way too deep to allow it to open. Shut. Yeah, man. This is so, boys and girls, this is what gassed looks like. Left hand, strong hand. Let's try a 74 in there. Card. Got to pass it all the way through. So it's too narrow, so I'm going to let it in the palm. I'm going to let some finger room. Palm, now just finger. Got it. It is nice. I think it's nice working them. Yeah, 1 time a week seems pretty good. And then you throw in what, thick bar or pinch somewhere else in between there? I'm guessing. Maybe I'm wrong. Seems like that might be what you do. It's nice using this. You know, your hand's a little bit more open. Do some open work. Hit it from another angle. Let me chalk this hand. I'm going to make a jump. I'm going to jump right over to a gripper that I keep over here. There it is. This is a 98, so it's 13 pounds heavier. It takes 13 more pounds of pressure than the one I just did to touch these together, these handles. Last week on the stream, I went with this, but I wasn't quite able to get it. The benefit is, if I come at it fresh and I haven't done all these max attempts and all these Uno card max attempts, you never know. You have to do it first, but I feel like I'd be able to hammer this thing down. So we're going to do the same thing. Let me just knock a little chalk off. I have so much chalk on. There, that's better. Oh, there, that's much better. Right, 98. It's kind of a pleasure because a moment ago I was trying to use one that takes 152 pounds of pressure. So this is 54 less. It's a third less. So setting it is going to be a joke, and that's kind of a welcome change of pace. I'm going to do it Cam's way. Oh, so when somebody gives you, and he's right, a nice piece of technique to try, it's hard to throw it in your first training day on a max effort day. But I'll try it on these. He's suggesting I put it on top of my calluses, so if it does slip, it still ends up in that good spot. There we go. Come on, 98. It did slip, but we started on the calluses. It's so wide. Pretty sure that was closed. Felt like it was closed. A lot of us that have done this for a while, whether you have the best grip, the worst grip, or somewhere in between, like me, you generally start to develop a pretty good idea as if you've actually shut something or not, right? So what if we found a gripper over here? What if that next one we go for is the 103? I think that seems reasonable. I've lent out my 102. Even with the volume work, I think I have a shot at this. Look good, yep. Seemed like it was good. This point, this is just fun. This is setting me up for the upcoming week. Tuesday will be good. Tuesday's my next grip day. We're going to do a lot. What I've been doing, and it helped, like I said, the last contest I did in August, we had a little bighorn. My best was 163. And then at King Kong, there's one. I got 173 and change. The other day in the basement, I got 181. So I know what I'm doing is working. I'm focusing on my thumb and thick bar. Now, I don't know if thumb transfers much to grippers. Maybe it helps set a little bit. Thick bar, I feel like transfers to everything. And maybe that's why, although not getting this, after not doing grippers for 5 or 6 months and doing a quick program, I was ahead of where I was before. But what I was going to say is Tuesday, we do our axle partials, and then we hold it. The amount of reps changes every week, but it's like this. Hold for a certain amount of seconds, put it down, rest, up. And then we do a lighter set and a lighter set. Then we're going to use just a regular barbell, and we do thumbless. We're going to hold it just like this. Might be a little in the weeds. If you tune in and watch it, it'll make sense. And for me, and I'm being serious when I say this, it has helped pretty much all aspects. For example, I pinch those really slippery 15K plates, right? They've got the nice Olympic paint on them. I would say Olympic lifting. I was able to pick it up, and I just kind of moved them like this a little bit. I hadn't done that before. Let's get after it. This Captain's a Crush credit card. Let's put it in here and shut it. We're working on the 85, a very user-friendly gripper at this point. I tuck it back here in my hand. When I use anything to push between the handles, I don't want to have to grab it off the table. I like to get it set, and I like to flush it through. So I start exactly where I want it. Then I have to show that this fits through. It doesn't slide through, it pushes through, it fits through. That's down. Oh, good. And I'm still good for an average 1.5. Is anybody here certified on any of these grippers under the credit card rule? I'm guessing maybe not because it's super hard, but we do have some pretty crazy grip guys that pop. I knew Cam had a good grip. I didn't know it was that good, so maybe he is. But we do get some people on here once in a while who are pretty sick. We'll go right to the right hand. I've certainly never done... Well, I don't try credit card very often, so there's that. I've never done this one, the 103. If I can do it after all this volume, be pretty pumped up. Oh, man, use a lot of dynameter. I'll have to try that. So you're going to see me set it really deep in my hand, slowly open it up and pass this through. Then the trick is going to be shutting it after that, right? Guys, shut the thing shut. Let's let it open a little. Let it breathe, for God's sakes. This is going to be hard. I can feel it. It's pushing with a lot more pressure than that last one. That's a no. You've been in the game long enough, you know when you get it and when you don't sometimes. Left hand. Let's just make a jump. This is probably stupid. We'll do the 95 instead. We're going 85 to 95. Yeah, I appreciate everybody being here. It's been a fun time. We even got Jensen was even in here. He popped in for a second. He wasn't sure he was going to be able to make it. I'm glad you got your number one, Jensen. No, because I didn't get the 130, which was supposed to be a really hard attempt, but shut. Then I was going to jump to the 3. It just didn't happen. All right. Pinky's just hanging on there. I actually like that it's half on, better leverage. But now it slipped too far, so now I don't know how much horsepower it'll provide. Nope. That's pretty easy fix. It slid so far back in my hand, I didn't have control. I can demonstrate with this easy gripper. This is what happened. It was in my hand. I was trying to do some work. I didn't let go far enough. It went back into the palm. So even though this is a super easy gripper, look what happens. When I start to crush and close my fist, it's hard to see, the handle comes in and down. In and down. So it's going to be really hard to make those touch. So when Cam was talking about, when I was saying that it's kind of about leverage, that's why you want it, hopefully, underneath these lines, underneath this callus line, or dang close to it. Because then, when you squeeze them together, they're kind of meeting on that even footing, right where you want them, right? That path. But again, if it's too far back, by the time the hand starts to close, the fingers and the fist aren't designed to meet back here. Fist closes in. If it's far back, you got to go like that. It's more of a pinch. And again, even with this easy gripper, I can manipulate it now, slide my fingers out and make it come. But on a hard gripper, I'm not going to be able to change that path. That's the iron mind. I'm going to try one last thing. I know I have very little juice left. Extremely, almost no juice left. I'm going to try one last thing. This is my hand. Duh, obviously. This is my forearm. Duh, obviously. I'm going to do a supported close. I'll come further away so you can see it. I'm going to set the gripper. I found out when I was younger, when I did this, I could shut a lot heavier grippers. Not legal. Well, it's not illegal, right? We're just playing grippers in the basement. Look at this chart. But for certification reasons, it wouldn't count. And even though we've done a buttload of volume, I'm going to try this one anyways, to demonstrate and to at least say I squeezed it today. I hope I get it parallel. The point I'm going to try to make is that through a supported close, I can get a lot closer. So like what you see when we did the Uno cards, that was one method of working on a hard gripper and slowly trying to make progress. That is one way, and I like that way. The other way you can do it, and I'll show it on the left, and then I'll demonstrate in real life on the right. This was my baby gripper. This is what I mean. I put the gripper in my hand. I use my offhand and I shove it here and I push this way and squeeze really hard. And I always get a little bit more pop in it. So for fun, and we might not even be able to set this gripper, but I want to see if I can at least get parallel after all this work. Oh, God. Don't think, but maybe. I think that proves my point, though, that when I use my offhand to support this wrist, I mean, we saw how fried I was. I couldn't credit card a 103, but I got at least decently close to this. This is what I want to show real quick. Pop this down, slide this over. King has seen this for sure. Jensen has seen this before. Here's an anomaly that popped up today, which made me change my training. The goal was going to be, and maybe I should have, to try this number 3 gripper. Been talking about it for a while. And I'll try it another day. It's fine. I'm not giving up. But watch something. Oh, yeah. So it was closed. Not closed, but close. Cam, that actually works. My best gripper close was when I was younger, my 20s. I did a 161. Now, at the time, I didn't know it. I just closed at a grip contest. Jed was actually there. It's when we first met here in Minnesota. But then, 20 years later, I got it rated because I figured out rating grippers was a thing, and it turned out to be 161. Here's what I'm going to try to show, gang. Slide this gripper in here. You know what? I might adjust this down so you can even see it better. But bear with me. Then what I do is I wind the handles together. Wake up. And you can see kind of the pounds of pressure on it. So this one's at 30. Wait, can you see? Yeah, you can see. Can you see amazingly? Maybe not. All right, that's where it should be. Everything's checking out. We'll keep going. We're at 50. But yeah, Cam, back to that technique. I used it on harder grippers to show mentally that it was physical. I was capable with my anatomy of closing it. And once I could get like 3 or 5 that way, then I would try to do a lot of singles without using that method. Again, it bridged the mental gap. It showed that Jeff is capable of this. So, interestingly enough, and this is how I rate them. This one's coming in, boom, right there, about 131, which is what it's rated. These are Canon ratings. This is just my little device at home. Not saying it's better. Usually pretty accurate. Usually get pretty close to what it says. Oh, might be my little boy calling me. Crying. Calling me, I mean like crying, give me some milk. But this one's rated at 130. I'm usually pretty consistent, a couple pounds lighter than a Canon rating. And what made me second guess my attempts today was this. 2 things. I brought these to the gym and a couple people squeezed them. They're 1 RGC apart, right? This 2.5, that's 130. That number 3, that's 131. My brother and another training partner were, a hair away. I actually think they may have closed this, the 2.5, but a hair away. The number 3, none of them were close on. Like none of them were close at all. That kind of gave pause. That made me want to come home and use my calibrator on them to see, hey, what's maybe going on here? Hang on. And reset. So when I do this, I get about 126. And that other one we got at 131. Yeah. It just tapped against 127. So I'm getting these as more as like a 4.5 RGC difference. I'm going to chalk up, and I'm now going to try this one. This gripper is slightly wider. And I just want to see how that plays out. Again, not saying anybody rated them poorly or better or anything like that. I rate them within my own system. But when this says there's a bigger gap, and then my training partners and brother try it, and the results are quite a bit different, it just made me think, Now I have a pile of other 3s that I'll be rating during this football game. Oh man, people love calibrating so much. Every time I bust out the calibrator, the numbers on the stream go through the roof. Oh, Nonia, yes, Brownsville, Texas. How are you, dude? So this guy in Brownsville, he just shot his 2.5 the other day, so good for him. I don't think it was actually like rated, so it's a little hard to tell, what the strength was, but I'll use the same technique on this. This isn't a defining thing. If I do shut it, it probably means something. If I don't, though, again, my grip feels super shot. So, Cam has been just a horse on this thing. If you could look at this, that would be great. Are going to make a new goal? Are you going to... Diesel, thank you. Going to focus less videos on crush grip or make a new program. The real goal, so he's, and thanks for being here. You're here all the time. I appreciate it. We've been doing grippers. The thing I'm really training is a lot of thumb work and thick bar. So on Tuesday, I'll bring out the axe, I'll do some partials, talk about wrist strength. I'm going to slide into a different part of grippers. It'll be a little less focus of the grip training and intensity. Part of the reason why I had to change is because it's snowy outside Minnesota. So right when I got into doing YouTube, I got these awesome inch dumbbell trainers, 110 pounds, 120 pounds, 137. Zach, the Stankovitz, SSEs are coming. I got the 75s, I have the 100s, I have the 150 something's coming. So I'm pumped out of my mind. Grippers are an easy thing to show in the basement. Maybe I'll talk to my gym. They've got some cool stuff there, but I don't know if they're huge on going live. So let's just see if this thing is shut. Again, even if I shut this, that's not the end all be all, but it'll be just another piece, another tool of information. But yeah, there's going to be I have a 4-week program. I'm starting next Saturday. It's going to be a lot different. We're going to use a lot of filed grippers, and we're going to spend a little bit more time in the working zone, somewhere between that 3 to 5 reps, if that makes sense. This was great since I hadn't touched grippers since August, and the fact that I shut a harder gripper than I've ever done on my left, awesome. If I hadn't made such a big jump today, I think I would have had a new one in my right hand too, so I'm pretty pleased. Just didn't hit the 3 that I really wanted. Now, here we go again. I'm going to put this in here. I'm going to support my wrist. I'm going to see if I can shut it. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I guess that's my point. I am a little more fatigued because I had done more work. Please let me know if that was not shut. I'm curious. I could be wrong, but I actually felt... Cam, I'm so confused right now. Not about this. So, okay, what did we show? This is definitely easing that number 3. So in my collection, it shows to be about a 5 RGC difference. Here's why I'm confused. That's how it should be when there's horsepower and you close the gripper. It just goes down. I can't figure out for the life of me. It's not a big deal. I won't worry about it today during the football game or when I'm with my kids. I can't figure out why the 117 didn't go down because I felt like it was the same. I squeezed right to a point. The hand said, yep, that's all. That's literally all the tighter it can go. But it wasn't shut. So I must have been just off with my technique where it wasn't quite lining up. Because normally if you can bring your hands straight together, oh, you know what I want to do? God, I've got a good idea. I have a really good idea, actually. Oh, nice, man. Thanks, Nonia. I'll watch it on replay. I want to try something a little out there, actually. This is interesting. The grip nerds will think it's super interesting. So let me grab this gripper. And where's my other? Yeah, here it is. Check out this. If you guys have a second, look at this. What does that say? Duh, it says 135. What do we have? That's a 3. What does this say? 135. What does this say? 2.5. Okay. Number 3's in the right hand, right? Number 3's in the right hand. So what does this tell us? Number 3, slightly narrower. Number 3, better knurling. I rated this. No, I'm going to throw it on there now. God dang it. So my buddy Matt Cannon was over here, helped me tweak my machine a little bit. This was months ago at this point. It wasn't like yesterday or anything. He probably forgets he even did it. Oh, maybe he didn't. He's a good memory. Let me throw this on there. I want to see. You know what I'm going to do? Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to do now that I think about it. I'm going to throw these 2 on there. They're both coming in 135s. And then I'm going to squeeze that number 3, depending on... How's that going to play out? This has nothing to do with programming. This is just being a nerd. I like it. Is there anybody else here who has something? Well, Fairview, it's grip. Have something you just nerd out about, and it's just like the most funner wrist thing ever. I'll be meeting Cam. Cam will be flying up. I don't think he's driving. I think he's flying. Probably June 12th, I imagine, if he wants to be on time for the contest June 13th. Gang, let's see what we have here. This is the 3. This is the 3. I'll say this. I bought that 131 from somebody overseas. He's a good guy. But these get traded around enough from some other grippers. And sometimes when people clean their grippers that take the tags off, I'm starting to wonder if that tag was originally on a different gripper. The gang said I smashed that and it felt like it. And thanks. It always feels good when people say that. Oh, how rude. 100 pounds of pressure now. That 130, 2.5 went down pretty easily. My machine called it 127. But now I'm super curious where this is going to come. Can you see the scale? 125. This is coming in like the exact same as that other one, if not fractionally easier. I might get this rated again. Let me do this. I'm gonna slam this thing shut in 1 second. Can you please watch me do one more attempt, please? Because the 131, if I'm not mistaken, was very close but didn't get it. And I'm getting this. Yeah, I'm getting this fractionally easier, if I'm being honest. Holy crap, this is fun. This is 135. I got this piece of equipment from Italy. I think it's cool. I've used it too many times. And those that have subscribed to the channel for any more than 2 or 3 weeks have seen it multiple times. Usually I rate grippers in between my shoulder work. I do a lot of shoulder work and my back work down here in the basement. I still don't have a squat stand. I can't do squats down here. So it's just an interesting way to pass the time and make conversation. Now again, let's see what this guy comes in. I use my ratings just in my own personal grippers. I don't rate them for anybody else other than me, my brother, I guess one other guy, a buddy of mine. So it's these ratings don't mean anything, compared to how other people do it, but within my own collection, it's useful information. Okay. All right. 5. Let's crank this a little faster, huh, boys and girls? 35. Yeah, I'm going to squeeze these for sure. Here's something else. I showed you the supported crushing grip. My buddy Justin, I taught him this. He gets, if not more benefit than I do. When I go left hand, I get very little benefit. It is a valuable training technique once you practice it. It's not a legal technique, but it allows you to close something harder, and then you can take your left hand off. And then all of a sudden, you're doing some kind of negative. All right, let's start checking. We're getting down there. So, no, I would say that the 2.5 is 1 pound lighter. I'm going to chalk up, and I'm going to go for it right now. This, when we tried this 131, I believe the chat said I missed it. That's how I remember it, but like super close. Again, yep, gripper's fatiguing. I get it. But let me try this other 3.5, or this other 3, that's 135. Gotta see what's going on. I love messing around with stuff like this. So now we're back over here. Pop it up. I'm going to chalk and go right for it. Close that number 3. Get aggressive. You got this. Yeah, man. I've been getting after it pretty good down here on this stream this afternoon. I say tonight because it's usually this evening. We did a lot of max closes earlier. Then we did a lot of Uno cards. Then we did a lot of credit cards. So my point is, if I can get this or get close, when I'm fresh, it's a home run. I honestly believe that. So, 135. Number 3. Let me know if it's shut, please. Using the support technique. So that was a terrible set. You probably saw me try to reset partway through. I still think at one brief moment, I swear to God, I felt the teeth touch. I really think I got it. Yeah, it did feel like I kind of shut it. So am I wrong then? Hey Cam, thanks for sticking around, man. Oh, everybody's still here. It's actually probably decently late in yeah, it might be decently late in Sweden. We still got them. So I'm going to call it. I'm going to say, and again, none of these, very few of my grippers did I buy directly from Matt. Some, I bought this from somebody else, California. But I almost feel like this 131 isn't 131. And that's just because my rating machine over there, again, it's not, I don't put the cool tags on it, but it said that this is a little harder. I tried them both. This I shut. And I think you even saw, this is what happened. It was one of the worst sets of my life, but I'm tired. I was like starting, finger slid off, went like this, had to put the finger on manually and still got it down, walked over to the camera and shut it. So I'm going to say it. The last thing I have to try, and it's still over here actually, is this lovely mess I've created. Let's do a quick check. Let's check one thing. You grip people know what I'm going to do or know what I'm kind of thinking. These grippers are substantially different vintages. This one is late 90s. They had the, hang on, put a finger that helps. They had the very, very deep stamps then, single stamp, crazy knurling. And this 3, God, that shows up. Well, the person I bought it from had used something to make it dark. Let's check the wire diameter. Should be the same. $7.2, right? It's one coil. 7.2, 7.24, right around there. Now nothing's perfect, so if it's off 1,000th, that's not freak out, but it should be about the same. These are Iron Mind 3s. That's the same. Yeah, that's the same. We thought that though, right? So the 4 culprits that we have, and I have some other pretty close strengths to this, like I have some Grandmasters, some Supermasters that are in the 128 to 137 range. I should do a stream about that. But what we're trying to figure out, we now know that this 130, this is definitely easier than the 131. That just can't be argued. So because I barely missed that today with the set block, and I underperformed, I appreciate people hanging the whole time. I underperformed where I wanted to. I still got some good gains out of the program, so I think it's valuable. But then we said, hey, what about this 131? We didn't shut that. We came back. We got this one. This is the 3. That came in 135, so I'm going to chalk up right now, and I'm going to go for this. The 135, the 2.5. And this one came in, man, we're trying a lot of stuff today. I wish there were 3 or 4 of you guys here. When I first started collecting grippers in my 20s, I'm 44 now, there was Iron Man. Eventually, Robert Baravan had some. And then I found out about Warren Tedding. I live 0.8 miles from where Warren lived. He doesn't live there. He passed on. So I'd help him sell his version of the Titan Telegraph, all his grippers all over campus at the gym and do things like that. And at the end of the week, I'd say, hey, Warren, this is what I got. He'd pay me. He doesn't call it money. He'd only call it coin. He's like, oh, look at this coin you made. Solid guy. And we didn't know anything about RGC. So you just get 4 guys who had good grips. And you'd say, all right, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Then we started shutting them down, as I showed earlier, down to different cards. And if you could pinch them, well, you knew the distance. And if you could do one gripper further or not as deep, well, then you knew you weren't as good at it. And you knew that it reflected in the strength, I should say, rather. This will be these squeeze. Here Here we go. It's a 2.5. It's a 135. I'm going to do a supported close. So I'm going to back up. My God, I hope the set is easier. There's not great knurling on this. This one is supposed to be fractionally easier than that 3 that came in at 135 with the tag. Oh yeah, this is going down. Or not. Felt awesome till it didn't. Let me know the thoughts, crew. I love getting in the weeds. We're having a great time. Great. That might have very well been just fatigue. I'm actually starting to feel it on that last one. I said, oh, this is going down. And as soon as I started squeezing, got real tight near the elbow. So I'm going to break out the bands. I'll say this. I actually have one or two kind of interesting gripper-related comments and one or two theories. But next Saturday, when I do my grippers, we're going to see some filed grippers. I don't know what people's thoughts are on that. We're going to see different training numbers. We won't be doing the 6 sets, 10, boom, boom, boom. We'll mix it up a little bit. But, dude, Cam having you here, a guy over from Sweden, that was pretty sweet. We got the regulars showing up. Deesville was here, Nonia, Jensen. I appreciate everybody being here. For me, this is about as fun as it gets. Talking shop, having the fellas here. I hope some of you consider coming, can come to Minnesota next year, June 13th and 14th. Come either participate or hang out at North American Grip Championships. Day 2 is at the Mall of America. It will be absolutely, I guarantee this, because I was there yesterday. It's going to be nuts. We have some pretty big surprises we haven't announced. Plenty of time to train. Hey, thanks, gang. Catch you on the next one.